Do what makes you happy, as long as it's not crazy. That man said, hit the gym. Yeah, exactly. Yo, thank you. Who was that? Gabe Andrada? Am I doing viewer fights? I'm gonna do them this week. Thank you for that super, bro. I have to remember that. Gabe Andrada. All right, I'm King. Yo, I'm gonna hit the wall. Ew. Give me that. Yeah, my execution is not what it used to be. Give me that. Stay busy. Yeah, yeah. Stay busy. Yeah, stay busy. On the wheel. Give me that. I needed something. Bag three is a success. Yeah, I can't do nothing right there. Out of range. Yo, what? Arbor King? Huh? Yo. Yeah, you missed the kill right there. Ah, it's pushback. A little pushback. Oh, nice break. Ooh. Elbow is good. Elbow is good. Good, good, good. No. Yeah. two as soon as I got grabbed because I tried to pull for a new two. I needed that. You got robbed right there. That was a sidestep too, and you sidestepped right. I don't know how that counter hit you. I love the custom. Yeah, the Godzilla. I just now noticed that with the helicopter. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sidestep, I think is good because I tried to do something slow and simple. Give me that. Okay. Oh, you're doing a hard combo. Oh man, super duper combo. So, and the yo, what's up, Tenno? A god like a rose? I tried to do heat smash, and I scrubbed out. Oh goodness, yo, the Armor King round, it's good. I tried to set him up. I tried to set him up. Yo, I'm getting blown up though. Give me that. He ducked. He didn't duck. Nice dip sandwich. The most disrespectful throw in all of Tekken. Give me that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. Ooh. That was robbery. Yo, Yeah, I stole that one. We stole it. We stole it. We stole it. Thank you, Alex, with all of these gold coins, all of this robbery. Jeez. Yo, I hit double. Yo, Armor King is too good, bro. You are too good. The player. You came to say they did send me dirty? They did do him dirty. No. Man said, Lucky Charms. Huh. Yo, what happened to the move? No. Ow. That's what you were going for, Armor King? Running time swing? Yeah, Armor King has that too. Yeah.
What a
He knew. He knew. See, I was trying to keep him still because you can sidestep any poke that King does at +5, unless it's a jab. Ouch. Yeah, that demon pawn is so good. Yeah, chest bump is really good. You got their back to the wall. You hope they don't walk it to the left. Oh, that's right. It's a yo. That was so dope. You guys hear that? Like the sound effect when he does that kick to you. Learning all this king stuff, fucking it all up. Get off me! Well, the one was not it. Okay, I'm getting blown up. So this is a master class. Yo, I'm getting blown up. Yo, E. That's all done. All right, what's the combo? Yo, I'm going to the wall, Hannah. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Hit me with that, but you got me though. No, I don't think I can make this comeback. Yeah, I was too far behind. mentally. That's it, God with Armor King. Love watching my gameplay of them. Thank you. Who's that? Wiz Cash King. Thank you. Thank you.
I loaded up Barry for the first time in years. It's
In this video, I'm going to answer the top 3 questions my students ask me about Python. What is Python? What you can do with it? And why is it so popular? In other words, what does it do that other programming languages don't? Python is the world's fastest growing and most popular programming language, not just amongst software engineers, but also amongst mathematicians, data analysts, scientists, accountants, network engineers, and even kids, because it's a very beginner-friendly programming language. So people from different disciplines use Python for a variety of different tasks, such as data analysis and visualization, artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation. In fact, this is one of the big uses of Python amongst people who are not software developers. If you constantly have to do boring, repetitive tasks, such as copying files and folders around, renaming them, uploading them to a server, you can easily write a Python script to automate all that and save you time. And that's just one example. If you continuously have to work with Excel spreadsheets, PDFs, CSV files, download websites and parse them, you can automate all that stuff with Python. So you don't have to be a software developer to use Python. You could be an accountant, a mathematician, or a scientist and use Python to make your life easier. You can also use Python to build web, mobile, and desktop applications, as well as software testing or even hacking. So Python is a multi-purpose language. Now, if you have some programming experience, you may say, but Mosh, we can do all this stuff with other programming languages. So what's the big deal about Python? Here are a few reasons. With Python, you can solve complex problems in less time with fewer lines of code. Here's an example. Let's say we want to extract the first 3 letters of the text hello world. This is the code we have to write in C#. This is how we do it in JavaScript. And here's how we do it in Python. See how short and clean the language is? That's just the beginning. Python makes a lot of trivial things really easy with a simple yet powerful syntax. Here are a few other reasons why Python is so popular. It's a high-level language, so you don't have to worry about complex tasks such as memory management like you do in C++. It's cross-platform, which means you can build and run Python applications on Windows, Mac, and Linux. It has a huge community, so whenever you get stuck, there's someone out there to help. It has a large ecosystem of libraries, frameworks, and tools, which means whatever you want to do, it is likely that someone else has done it before, because Python has been around for over 20 years. So in a nutshell, Python is a multi-purpose language with a simple, clean, and beginner-friendly syntax. All of that means Python is awesome. Technically, everything you do with Python you can do with other programming languages, but Python's simplicity and elegance has made it grow way more than other programming languages. That's why it's the #1 language employers are looking for. So whether you are a programmer or an absolute beginner, learning Python opens up lots of job opportunities to you. In fact, the average Python developer earns a whopping $116,000 a year. If you found this video helpful, please support my hard work by liking it and sharing it with others. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I have a couple of awesome Python tutorials for you. You're going to see them on the screen now. Here's my Python tutorial for beginners. It's a great starting point if you have limited or no programming experience. On the other hand, if you do have some programming experience and want to quickly get up to speed with Python, I have another tutorial just for you. I'm not going to waste your time telling you what a variable or a function is. I will talk to you like a programmer. There's never been a better time to master Python programming. So click on the tutorial that is right for you and get started. Thank you for watching.
Do you want to learn programming in a fun way? And that too, the fastest growing language, which is Python. So here we are. Welcome to the Risk for Learnings. My name is Navin Reddy, and in this series, you will learn Python language from start to end. The only prerequisite here is your time. Nothing else. If you have not done programming before, that's completely fine because in this series, we will start from scratch. So you will understand the language fundamentals, you will understand the syntax, and not just that, we will also focus on concepts. So this Python series will be fun to learn, and that too it is freely available. So you can learn the entire Python language for free. When you're learning something online, you may get bored or you may get distracted, but don't worry. In this series, I will try to make this session as much as interesting as possible. Maybe with the help of my presence, maybe with the help of animations and different stuff. So I hope you will enjoy this series, but make sure that you subscribe to the channel before going ahead and also share with your friends. Let everyone learn programming. Welcome to the Alien World, everyone. Welcome back, aliens. My name is Navin Reddy, and finally we are starting with a series on Python or Python. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. What matters is it is one of the fastest growing language. In what terms? In terms of number of developers who are using it, in terms of the number of libraries we have, in terms of number of companies who are using it, and in terms of the areas you can implement it. You talk about machine learning, you talk about GUI, software development, web development. You can use it everywhere. And that's why it is also called as a general purpose language. So in this video, we're going to talk about what is Python and why it is so useful and why you should learn it. So what is Python? As I mentioned, Python is a programming language, of course, but it's also an integrated, object-oriented, and high-level language. Now, does it mean you cannot do procedures here? You can. It also supports procedure-oriented programming as well as object-oriented. It depends upon your purpose, right? You can use it the way you want. But why Python is so famous? We have C, C++, Java, JavaScript, and still Python is famous? Now, some people say that Python is a new language, and not exactly. Java came into picture in 1995 and Python came in 1989. So it's way before Java, right? Now, so when Java came into picture, the enterprise market, everyone started using Java. But then Python was there, it was there for other people to use. Example, let's say if you want to learn a language for the first time, Python was there. But now, since the advancement of machine learning, AI, this is a field where we have research scientists. They don't want to spend much time on learning programming language. So what they do, they went for the easiest language available, and the easiest language available in the market is Python. And yes, Python is damn easy. It is much simpler than C, C++, and Java. That's why most of the colleges and schools, they are teaching Python. You might be thinking, which company uses Python? Now let us list those small companies who uses Python. We have Google, we have YouTube, we have Dropbox. So we can see we have all these companies who are using Python as a main language or as a support language. Example, let's say Google has so many features. Some of those features is coded in Python. Now, in the same way, we have this one of the big website called as Reddit. Reddit is today written in Python. Now, let's focus on this name Python. In fact, when you talk about C, C++, Java, these names, they have some story, right? What about Python? It's just because this language looks like a snake? Not exactly. The author of Python is a big fan of a British comedy movie called as Monty Python's Flying Circus. And that's why he went with a name called as Python initially, and then when everyone liked it, he went for the same name. Now, can we learn Python? And the answer is yes. It is one of the easiest languages to learn, and even if you are from a non-technical background, you have not written any code, you can start with Python. What if I say Python came into picture just to help those people who don't know how to write a code? In fact, children can learn Python. It's that easy. Now, Python has multiple versions. We have 1.x, we have 2.x, and we have 3.x. And of course, we should be learning 3.x, right? That means 2.x is not in the market. And the answer is no. The 2.x is still in the market. Because when 3.x came into picture, it was very different from 2.x. Normally what happens in programming language, when Java 8 came into picture, so it was backward compatible with Java 1.7. When Java 1.7 came into picture, it was backward compatible with 1.6. But that's not the case with Python, The two different versions has two different way of working. And that's why we have 2.x still running in the market. And it does have a support till 2020. So which one you should learn? Of course, 3.x, right? Because it is new and there will be a lot of features which you can work on. So that's the introduction from this video. In the next video, we'll talk about how to install Python, how to work with different stuff. And in the entire series, you will enjoy this language. So I hope you will be watching this series. Let me know in the comment section. And do feel like if you're enjoying it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. Welcome back, aliens. My name is Navin Reddy. And in this video, we'll talk about the Python installation. The thing is, we have talked about a language which is very powerful, but then where you will write your code, of course, we can simply open your notepad and we can write the code which we want, right? So example, I can simply go back here and I can say, okay, what type of code I want to write? So it can be anything. It can be, let's say, 2 plus 3. Now, when you say you want to write a code, it can be a calculation, a computation. So basically, a normal calculation like adding two numbers, or deciding in which stock to invest, or maybe deciding who should be the next CEO. So basically the idea is, if you want to write a code to design a software which can do some activities, we have to write a code. But where? If you write the code in the notepad, of course you're not getting the output. Where you will get the output for this? This is tricky, right? And that's why in your machine you need a Python interpreter. So basically we have to install some software. And in this machine, I don't have it. How do I verify? It's very simple. You can open your command prompt. So if you're using Windows, you can use command prompt to check it. Or if you're using Mac or Linux, you can open the terminal. So I'm here on command prompt. And here, let me see if I have Python. Now, basically, the way you can check that is by saying Python version. And if you get this type of error, which says Python was not found, that means in this machine I don't have Python. Okay, with Python 3, you might also check if do you have Python 3 installed. And you can see nothing is there. So even if you have Python installed, sometimes it will not work with the Python command. It might work for the Python 3 command. So do check both the versions. And in this machine, I don't have any. So how do you get it? So the first thing we need is Python interpreter. And, okay, let's say we got Python interpreter, and then you can write a code there. The thing is, in the interpreter, it provides you an option of writing a code one line at a time. So of course you can add two numbers, but what if you want to build a big project? Now it can be a scientific project or a AI project. Now that's what is booming nowadays. So if you want to build an AI project or a web application or a desktop application, where you will do it. For that, you need a software where you can write the code, test your code, run your code, debug your code, and also deploy your code to the cloud, where you will do it. Now that's why we have to use something called an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. Now for Python, we have a lot of options. Now one is very famous, which is your PyCharm. Now this is from JetBrains. Again, in this video, I will show you how to install Python interpreter and the PyCharm. So let's start with the interpreter. So what you will do is, in fact, in the updated version of Windows, when you say Python enter, it will open the Microsoft Store. But let's say if you don't have this configured, that's fine. What you can do is you can just go to Google and search for Python download. So you can say this is the option you will get. So of course the first website says Python, you can download it from here. Now in the upcoming videos, you might see a different version of Python installed, and that's completely fine, because in the version difference, you will not find a lot of changes. So even those things, those code will work here. Okay, so you can go for Python 3.12, which is the latest version, I feel. So if I click on download, so you can see we got download Python 3.12. So you can download this version. 13 is into pre-release, so don't use 13 as at this point. We got 12, which is 3.12. So we can click here and say download. Okay. So you can see it is downloading and downloading complete. I feel, yeah, that's done. Now, depending upon which OS you have, Windows, Linux, or Mac, depending upon that, you can choose from here. So you can say we have different options here. And yeah, that's the thing. So let me click on this and install. So basically, I don't have this installed, so I will just click here. And now this will install the software. Okay, so you can see we have an option here, which is install now or customize. I will go for simple installation. But before doing that, I also want to say add python.exe to the path. Basically, even if you have installed, maybe whenever you open a different folder, Python may not be available there. So if you do this, add a python.exe to your path, you don't have to manually search for the installation. So you can click on this install now, and it will take some time. Now, if you skip that step of add to the path, then you have to manually set the path. But anyway, when you do the add to path, you don't have to do the other steps. So by the time it is getting installed, what we can do is we can also get the PyCharm downloads done. So I will search for PyCharm. Now PyCharm is from JetBrains, which is a very famous company for the IDEs and software tools. So it helps developers. Now basically, you can also use VS Code for Python. You can also use Anaconda or IDLE, which is the interpreter, and yeah, many more. So I will just click on this. I will say download PyCharm. The thing is, when you download or when you get to the PyCharm, it's not actually free. Okay, that's a twist, right? So we have two versions there. One is a paid version, one is a free version. So I would encourage you to go for the free version. But yes, once you become a professional, once you're working for a company, then it makes sense to use the paid version. So this is the website. And as I mentioned, this is developed by JetBrains, which is the website here. It's also the company. And we also have a community version. So if you want the community version, you can scroll down and you can see we have two different versions, professional and community. I will click on the community version. If you go for the professional version, you will get trial for 1 month. So you decide if you want to use it or not, but I would encourage you to use the community version. So this is getting downloaded. Let me go back to my Python setup. And looks like Python setup is completed. Let me click on close. So setup is complete. How do I verify? Again, we have to go to command prompt. Now, one thing to remember, even if you have installed Python and if you try to do this, it may not work. So you have to reopen your command prompt. So now if I say cmd, and let me try now, Python version, and you can see we got Python installed. This time we're getting a version number. We're not getting that error which was getting earlier. So yeah, Python is installed. Now how do I test it? It's very simple. You simply say Python, it will open the interpreter. Now this is where you can write a code. Of course, doesn't look good, right? Maybe you need a software where you will find, in fact, if you have learned some other languages, you can write the code, you can see the project, you can run the code. You will see that in PyCharm. But here, you can see we got the interpreter, and here I can simply add those two numbers, and it is working, right? So you can, yeah, you can do calculations, computations, whatever you can do in this prompt. Apart from this, if you want to open Python, you can also search for Python. So you can see it will also give you an app. So you can also use this one. This is the IDLE from Python. In fact, IDLE looks like something like this. So this is the Python interpreter. You can also use ideally, yeah, I know white theme. A lot of people don't like it, but for YouTube videos, it makes sense to have a light theme. It looks good. It also encourages you to learn more. But anyway, that's your choice if you want to use a white or black or dark. Especially for me, I prefer to use dark theme when I'm coding, and for videos, I prefer white themes. Anyway, that's a different debate. So I can just use this. I can also say 2 plus 3 here. I'm not sure if the font is visible, but that's not important. If I say 2 plus 3, enter. Okay, we got syntax error. Again, I will say 2.3. I think I've entered something there. Okay, so you can see we got 5 there. So yeah, you can do this here, you can do that here, or in the command prompt which we have opened earlier. But what about the PyCharm? So we got the PyCharm installation done. So you can see we got time, and if you can see yes. Okay, now setup is very simple here. You just have to say next, next. It will detect the Python as well, the setup. So click on next, install. Again, will take some time. Okay, looks like a bulky software is doing a lot of extraction. But that's the better thing with IDEs, they are bulky. Otherwise, you can also use VS Code if you want. That's your personal choice. Everything which we are doing in PyCharm or on the IDE, it will also work on VS Code. Okay, setup complete, and I can also say run here from here, or I can simply click on finish. Let me open PyCharm, taking some time again. Okay, don't want to import these settings and import, click on OK. So basically I'm using PyCharm on this machine for the first time. So you will get some extra prompts. Okay, so what you can do here is you can create a project. You can name any project, you can name anything you want. I can click on create and voila, you got your project here. So this is how the PyCharm looks like. And that's your Python code. Again, don't get confused with the code here. We'll understand this one step by step. But this is your Python code here. You can even run this if you want, but it will take some time. Anyway, we are going to see the PyCharm, how to use it later in the course. So yeah, that's it from this video where we have the setup for the Python interpreter and PyCharm. So if you are enjoying this series, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon, because that's how you will know when I upload the other videos on the platform. Welcome back, aliens. My name is David Reddy, and let's continue with this series of Python. Now, we have talked about what is Python, and we have talked about how to install Python on your machine. It's time to start with the actual stuff, right? And we are waiting for this. Now, the step one would be, of course, you need to open your IDE. Now, if you remember, in the installation, we have installed 2 softwares. One is the interpreter, and second is your PyCharm. But we'll not be using PyCharm in this tutorial. We'll start with the basics so that you will be having that hands-on experience on IDLE as well. So let's try it out. So what I will do is I will open my IDLE, and in that, so this is your prompt. Okay, so this is your prompt. This is where you will type your code now. Before going for the actual code, we have a question here. Why do we code and why do we write a code? Now think about this. We are living in a world where everything is done with the help of computers, right? Example, if you want to send an SMS, if you want to send an email, you don't have to do that. Your computer will do it for you if you instruct it. Example, nowadays we have this amazing thing, we have Siri on iPhone, and then we have Google Assistant on Android phones. You can ask them to do things for you. Example, you want to set an alarm, you can, they will do it for you. But then how they understand what you want to say? So you need to talk to a computer. And if you want to talk to a computer, you need to understand their language, right? And the language which computer understands is binary code with zeros and ones. Now that means if you want to talk to computer, you need to talk to them in terms of zeros and ones. Now it is not practically possible, right? Of course. So what you have to do is you need to use a language which both will understand. And of course, we all know English language, but computer will not understand plain English, right? Because we have some grammatical stuff here. So what we have done is we have created programming languages. Now those are not actually, example, we have high-level languages. Now those are not exactly a binary code, and they are not even exactly same as English. They are somewhat, they have their own protocols, they have their own grammar, which we use. So when I say English, so we have level 1 English, then we have level 2, which is programming language, and then we have level 3, which is your binary format. So you understand English. So what you will do is you will learn a programming language, let's say Python in this case, and then you will write a Python code, which will get converted into binary format, which a computer will understand. So if you say, hey computer, do something for me. So let's go with a very simple stuff here. Let's say I want to add two numbers. So you will say, hey computer, 2 plus 3. A computer will say, okay, 5. But then how will you talk to a computer in this case? So we are using Python, and then we have an interpreter. In fact, in Python, it's one of, as we discussed, it's one of the easiest language, right? So what I will do is I will say 2 plus 3. This is the simplest task you can do on Python. So I will say 2 plus 3. It works. You can see we got 5. Yay! So this is working. What else? What about subtraction? We love mathematics, right? So let's apply all the arithmetic operations here. Let's try 9 minus 8. It should be 1. Right? We got 1. So yes, subtraction also works. Okay, what else we can use? Can we use multiplication? Let's try 4 into 6. It should be 24. Yeah, that's right. We got the answer. So yes, addition, subtraction, multiplication works. What about division? Okay, let's try. So when I say division, it should be 8 divided by 4. And I'm expecting answer to be 2. Yeah, it's 2. But hold on, there is a difference here. You can see when we say 2 plus 3, we got 5. 9 minus 8, which is 1. So when you subtract two numbers, we are getting that number, right? And specifically, these are integer numbers, right? We all use integers. But then when you divide a number, it is giving you a point value. Now, this point value is also called as float numbers. So we have integers and then we have float. Now, float stands for floating point representation. Okay, but why it is 2.0? Because when you divide numbers, you might get point values. For example, when you say 5 divided by 2, you will get 2.5. Example, let's try it out. So if I say 5 divided by 2, you got 2.5, and you want that 0.5 value, right? That's why it converts your number or your output into a float value, because they want to give you the exact value. But what if you don't want it? What if you want only the quotient part? Example, when I say 5 divided by 2, you want only 2. You don't want 0.5 value. So we can do that. If you want only integer output, so we don't want float now, we want only integer, you can do that. You can say 5, instead of giving 1 slash, you have to give 2 slash. Now this is also called as integer division, or it is also called as float division. So when I said on this code, you got 2. So this is working, yeah? Okay, what else we can do here? Can I do, combination of this arithmetic operation? Example, let's say 8 plus 9, yeah? And then subtract it by, let's say 10. Is it possible? Let's try. So it works, So you can have multiple operations. But then we have to follow a grammar, right? If you say 8 plus 9 and then subtract, you forgot to type 10 there, it will give you an error, which is invalid syntax. And that's why you need to follow the grammar as well. So when you learn a language, you need to follow grammars in the same way. In programming as well, you have to follow grammar. Can I use those bracket stuff which we used to use in mathematics? Yes, we can. So example, let's say we have 8 and then I'm adding that value, but then I also have a value which is 2 into 3. Now, which one will be done first? Of course, the multiplication part, right? But then what if you want to do it? Oh, let's try this first. So you can see we got 14, which is 8 plus 6. But what if I want to say 8 plus 2, which is 10, and then 3? So in that case, you need to use brackets, right? If you remember the BODMAS rule, so I would say 8 plus 2, which is in the brackets, and then into 3. So you can see we got 30. So yes, this also works. So when you multiply, so if you give a bracket, it will be solved first. Okay, this is cool, right? Now what else we can do here? What if I want to find a power of, or you can say exponent? So let's say if you have 2 raised to 3 or 5 raised to 6. How can I do that? So I will say 2, I want to find cube of 2. So in that case, I can say 2 into 2 into 2. Yeah, we can do that. But then what if you have 2 raised to 10? You cannot simply type 2 into 2 into 2 into 10 times, right? Because this will give the right answer, which is 8. Otherwise, you can say 2, you can give double star and 3. So double star or double hashtag symbol simply means power of. So when you say 2 raised to 3, so this is 2 hashtag 3. And you can see we got 8. So that's how you have to do all this operation. So now we know how to add two numbers, how to subtract two numbers, and then multiplication, division, flow division. What else we can do here? In fact, we can also do modulus. Now what is modulus here? Let's say I'm dividing two numbers, which is 10 divided by 2. Or maybe 3 in this case. Now it's 10 divided by 3, it will give you 3, right? But then we also have a remainder here, which is 1. So when I say 10 divided by, which is the integer division, you got 3, that's right. But what if I want the remainder part of it? So I will say 10, and we have to use a special symbol here, which is modulus, and we'll say 3. You can see we got 1, which is a remainder. So when you say 10 mod 3, you will get a remainder, which is 1. Okay, this works, yay. Now, you know all the operators, right? Now what else we can do here? Now till this point, we have discussed about, the we have discussed about two types. One is the integer type, which we have done here, and then we have talked about float. What other types we can have here? Can we have string? You know what a string means? It's a combination of characters. Example, my name, Naveen, is a string. Python is a string. Camera is a string. YouTube is a string, right? So we have to use, can we use string here? We can, let's try. So what I will do is, whenever you want to use string, you should always use single quote or double quote. So let's try. So I will use my name first. So I will say single quote and Naveen. So we have to use our quotes here. So you have to say Naveen. And enter, you can see we got the same value. Naveen, we got Naveen. Now there's another way of printing these values. You can also print by providing some functions. Oh, that's a new word now. Note of functions. In Python language, we have certain functions which we can use. And one of the function is print. Now what print means or what function means is, it is a set of tasks which you will be doing. So example, in print, which is inbuilt, it has certain tasks which it will do. You just need to call it. Can we define our own functions? Yes, we can. So print is an inbuilt function. We can define our own functions as well. So you can do all these operations in one function. You can do that. But we'll see that later. How do we define our own function? But time being, let's use print. And whenever you have a print, you normally give this round brackets to pass any parameter. Let's say if you want to pass something to the function, you can do it here. In this case, I want to pass my own name. So I'm saying print Naveen. So you can see it works. We got Naveen as a value there. Okay, that works. Now, if you see the difference between Naveen, the earlier command here, if you compare this one with this one, see the output. So in the earlier one, the single quote is getting printed as well. But in the second one, it is only printing my name. And that looks beautiful, Okay, let's try to print something else. I will say print. And here, I want to print, let's say, Naveen's laptop. So Naveen's laptop. It should print Naveen's laptop, right? When I say enter, oh, we got an error. That's weird. Now, what went wrong here? Now, if you observe here, we have single quote as a starting one, and then we also have a single quote here. So that means that is one string. And then this thing, which is S laptop, it is not as a part of that single quote. That's where the problem starts. So you cannot simply have single quote anywhere, right? So how do you solve this problem? To solve this problem, we have two solutions. The first one is, instead of using single quote, you can use double quotes. Example, you can say print. And in double quotes, you can say Naveen's laptop. Now, since starting and ending is done with the help of double quotes, you don't have to worry about the single quote in between. And if I say enter, and you can see we got the output as Naveen's laptop. Now, what else? What other commands we can do? So this thing works here. Now, let me think about this. What if I want to print double quotes in a statement? Let's say we have print. Inside double quotes, I'm saying Naveen laptop, but I want to print laptop in double quotes. Can I do that? Example, the output should be Naveen and laptop, but then the laptop should be in double quotes. We cannot do that because, the first double quotes and second double quotes will be getting ended here. So this is my first string. What about this laptop? Now, in that case, we will be using single quote. So single quote and end with single quote. So you have to make sure the string part should be different from the part which are inside. So if inside we have double quotes, then outside we should be using single quote, right? That makes sense. Right, so you can see we got the output. But here's a trick. What if I have both in this string? Example, let's say we have print. I want to say Naveen's laptop, and you can see we have both now. We have double quotes and we have single quote both. That's where the problem starts. So what you will do now? Because if I say enter, you got invalid syntax. In that case, we will say single quote Naveen's, and then in double quotes we'll say laptop. The issue is with this S, right? This S is coming before a single quote. So we have to tell your Python, hey Python, can you just skip that special meaning of that single quote? And the way you do that is by giving a slash. So when you say backslash, it will make sure that it will ignore the special meaning of that single quote. So when I say enter, it works, So these are the basic fundamentals which we're talking about. So let's do some fun here. So again, we'll continue with print later, but we have some fun thing here. What if you want to print Naveen 2 times, or you want to print Naveen 3 times? Can I do that? Of course you can, right? You can type Naveen and then Naveen again, or you can also use a plus character here. So if you want to concatenate two strings, so we have two strings here, right? We have Naveen and we have Naveen. So when I say enter, so you can see we have Naveen and Naveen, so we are combining it. What if I want to print Naveen 3 times or 10 times? In that case, you can play with numbers as well. So you can say 10 into, in single quote, you can say Naveen and say enter, you can see we got Naveen 10 times, yeah? So that is fun actually, you can play with it, you can do some experiment, and that's amazing. What if I want to print this one? You tell me. Okay, you try to guess it. Will it work or not? Just pause the video, guess it. Let me know in the comment section which will work or not, and then we can continue. What I will do is I will print something. I will say C colon slash. I have a direct equals docs slash Naveen. So pause the video, think about it, and let's see what output you're giving. Let's try and say enter. Oh, this is weird. We were expecting it will print C colon docs slash Naveen, but unfortunately it is giving a new line and then Naveen. What's wrong? Now slash n has a special meaning in Python. What is that special meaning? And the meaning is it means new line. So slash n means new line, and that's what is happening here. It is printing C colon slash docs, and then it comes to a new line because of slash n. It is saying Avin. Okay, what I want to do is I want to print it as it is. How do I do that? It's very simple. You just need to cancel the special meaning of that thing, right? So you want to print this string as it is, which is also called as raw string. So I want to print this one as a raw string. In that case, you just specify R before the thing, and you will say C colon slash docs slash Naveen. So we are printing this stuff as it is. So when you say R, it means raw string. Don't try to convert it. That's what you are saying to Python. Hey, don't try to convert that slash into a new special character. And say enter, it works. Yeah. So everything is looking good now. So I hope you enjoyed this stuff which we are doing here, playing with this stuff. So in this video, we have already talked about how can we use certain operators and then playing with printf. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to use variables. Now, if you are enjoying this series, let me know in the comment section about your thoughts. And if you have any questions, you can put that as well. I do read your comments, by the way, and so that I can answer that in the next video. And if you are liking my videos, so click on the like button and do subscribe to the channel for further videos. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Welcome back, aliens. My name is Naveen Reddy, and let's continue with this series on Python. In fact, in the earlier videos, we have talked about what is Python. We have installed two softwares, and we have also worked with certain operations. Right? We had fun in the last session. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about what is variable. But first of all, why do we need one? Let's try something here. So what I will do is I will go back to my previous example. We were adding 2 and 3, so we have done with that, right? We are saying 2 plus 3. Now, if you remember in maths, what we do is of course we work with numbers, but then the moment you start with algebra, you have this concept of using x and y. So what we do is we say let x is equal to 5. Can you do that here? So we have x equal to 2. So I'm storing this value 2 in a variable called as x, and that's a new word now. What is variable? So basically, variable is a container where you can put your values. Example, we are storing 2 here in a container, and the name of that container is x. Of course, you can give any name, doesn't matter. You can say ABC, you can say a box, you can give any name, right? So we can say x equal to 2, and the moment I say enter, now this is the first time when you said enter and you have not got any output, right? So in the earlier prompts, what we did is when we said any operation, it was giving you some output. Here, we have not got any output. It's just an assignment operation. So in assignment, what we do is we have a variable name equal to a value. So we are assigning 2 to x. Okay, that works. So can I do this now? Can I say x plus 3? Yes, right? Because in x we have a value which is 2. Oh, it works. You can see we got 5. That works. Can I store 3 as well? Let's try. So I will say y is equal to 3. Now we have 2 variables, x and y. So we have 2 boxes. And now I will say x plus y. Oh, it works, right? It works. So we can say x has 2, y has 3, and we are adding them. Okay, so that's why we can use them. But then why they are called as variables? Now, normally when you say variable, this term simply means you can change the value. Can we change here? Can I say x equal to 9? Can I change the value from 2 to 9? Let's try. And the moment I say enter, oh, it works. There was no error. But now, if I try to do this, if I say x plus y, x will have a value which is 2 or 9. That's a question because we are changing it, but there's no error. Enter. Oh, you got 12.